Hey there everyone, it's the video you've probably been waiting for. Choose Your Legends results, they're out. I do have a couple other videos up. I have a full reaction to the FEH channel for the anniversary last night. And then I also have a condensed version that's about 10 to 12 minutes long that kind of covers everything you need to know. So if you're interested in anniversary stuff, rewards, hero rises, all of those things, you can check those out. I haven't exclusively talked about Choose Your Legends in a video in depth yet, but when I did go live last night after the FEH channel, we did kind of look at Choose Your Legends results, which is fun. So that's kind of what I'm looking at now. I've got my ballot down below here, and those are the placements overall, not men and women's division, but just, you know, total votes overall. Those are the places that they came in. I don't know if I'm a normie or if I'm cultured. Because, like, a lot of my picks did really well. Alencia, I think, always does pretty well. Awakening Anna is a pretty safe bet. Rhea, again, probably top 100 most times. Stefan did pretty well, too, honestly. And then Maiko was also kind of surprising. I figured Maiko might have fallen off in recent picks. Nagi has never been popular. I think Nagi will always be my least popular choice, just overall. But for what it's worth, I do think she'd be a cool brave hero at some point down the road. And then, of course, there was Golvig, which I didn't influence, but I'm seeing comments and people tweeting me telling me I'm going to hell. So I guess if I'm gonna take the flack for it, then I will just take the clout, I guess. I don't really know. I reported on the midterms and then I showed my ballot after voting was over. So I don't really know. I don't know what I would have slipped in there to make you guys think that I was all gung-ho on Golvig. Also, I didn't vote entirely for Golvig, to be clear. That was a day 4 vote after the midterms came out, because I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. Because for what it's worth, I do think a big bad OC like Golvig, or Freya, or Hell, or anybody like that. Why are they all women? Surtur. We'll throw Surtur in there. Surtur is also included in that kind of pool of big bad Fey OCs. I think when they have to do that, it creates something that's a little more unique. Kind of like what happened with Brave Veronica, right? Like, it's weird to have the character who's been chasing us around for 2 years, trying to kill us, and then, oh, suddenly they're a brave hero, and they're within the Order of Heroes, and that's weird, right? This, in particular, is a more convoluted situation, because not only is it the current book enemy, but this banner also comes out around the midpoint, which is usually the climax of the story. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to work this. We may, collectively as a player base, by voting Golvig, may have somehow potentially influenced the future of the story for this book, because while Veronica was a bit of a conundrum, Golvig actually has a pretty safe out because of time manipulation. And I mean, they're really kind of going full throttle with that theme, with putting the book chapters out of order and stuff anyway. So there is some creative possibility there that does exist. I personally am all for making I know it upsets me too, but it's not it is. They're canonly on record saying that. I think making them work a little harder and trying is more interesting than getting like a promoted alt of, you know, a main character that we've seen before. No dig at Corrin or Robin, to be clear. I'm very happy for their fan bases, and I think Levin Sword or Grandmaster Robin would be dope. Either one. Same thing with Corrin. If we get a new Brave Dragon or Yato, female Corrin. Like that would be also kind of neat. But this is like catching lightning. The theme, the timing, the character, the lore behind all of it. Like there's a lot of potential for a lot of creativity, and I'm curious to see what they do with that. Genuinely, just as a matter of circumstance. But I guess we'll find out. You know, I don't really know. So yeah, if I have to take the heat for this, I mean, if you need a place to vent your frustrations for how this happened, I don't know. I even had a 2-year subscriber tell me that I influenced, and that's why Bernie lost. which Bernie didn't lose to Golvig, to be clear. Bernie lost to Corrin. Sorry to rip that band-aid off, but Corrin was not touching Golvig, to be clear. Bernie was not competing with Golvig. Bernie was competing with Corrin. So there's that. But on a side tangent here, the ballots that we took in, I did a video on this, the I Know Who Won Choose Your Legends video. We calculated all of my viewers' ballots that submitted. It was about 100 or so. And correctly picked Male Robin, Soren, and Golvig to win, alongside Bernadetta. So, I mean, darn close to a 4 out of 4 prediction on that, or not prediction, I guess, estimation. Overall, what I'm saying is that my particular viewer base seems to have their pulse, thumb on the pulse of Choose Your Legends. So we'll definitely do it again next year. Could be kind of interesting to see if we can go 2 for 2. But I mean, honestly, with 100 votes difference, I mean, that's just kind of like, that's a rounding error almost with those ballots. So very, very interesting, very curious, very curious. So good on you, viewers. You almost correctly went 4 for 4 on picking the Brave banner for this year, which is crazy. Another thing of note is that the men's side overall had more votes total. And then the total votes overall, I think, were also a little bit lower this year. And this is something else that the viewer ballots that submitted kind of helped inform too. There were not a lot, but a decent chunk of ballots that were missing votes. And if you don't know, if you miss a day of voting, you basically lose a day at the end. So I think what ended up happening with a lot of people was they started Choose Your Legends voting early this year, likely to compensate for the fact that it normally would have started like the day or day of Engage comes out, because they were releasing that this year. I think they started early. It kind of caught people off guard. Maybe they're not as tuned in. They don't log in every day. They don't watch me daily, or anybody else daily, or, you know, they're not addicted to Twitter. Whatever the case may be, you know, they missed a 24-hour, 48-hour period where like, oh, Choose Your Legends is starting. That's crazy. And then started voting, but at the end of their ballots, you know, they were missing a day or 2 or 3. So, you know, when you start something 10 days early, 2 weeks early, that has a tendency to catch people off guard because it's relatively run the same way for the last 6 years. And it's, you know, that's just how it's been. But all that said, the overall top 20 for men and women didn't really change much from the midterm results that came out. We don't know what the placements were at that time, obviously. But, you know, overall, I think everybody that was listed in the midterms made the top 20 on the men's and women's side. And that's overall why I usually say, like, when midpoint results come out, if your character's not listed, they probably do not have a shot at winning or even making, you know, top 20, whatever. That the midterm results really do have a way of kind of impacting people, which genuinely I think is the main reason Golvig won the women's division and got so many votes in general. I think initially it was probably meme worthy, and I mean, again, aesthetics, but you know, once people saw that, oh, there's maybe a chance, you know what I mean? I think people kind of started to bandwagon that, myself included. I literally did the same thing on the 4th day. So, like I said, it could be interesting. Anyway, point is, there is not a lot of difference, honestly. Everything kind of feels the same. The Shez happening almost back to back was kind of curious. If Shez voters united into a single cause, they would have had, closer to like 7,000 votes, which would have put them much closer to the top 10 overall. Vote splitting happens. It's part of the gig. Overall, nothing really too surprising, to be honest. There was a couple drop off, not anything too insane. Rhea hitting 52nd, still relatively around the top 50. Still genuinely kind of happy about that. I think overall the takeaway here is that people don't really know what to vote for, and like that's another thing. The last 2 years haven't been very heavily Three Houses inspired, and I only say Three Houses specifically because that was the previous main series title that had come out. Now that we have Engage, I feel like people who are much more casual, because let's be honest, the majority player base of Fire Emblem Heroes is a slightly more casual approach, okay? Because it's not a direct one-to-one from the mainline titles, which people are typically going to play more of. Three Houses getting a lot of votes and a lot of hate probably put people off because those are the characters they were most connected to or understood. And now, without having a mainline title that had come out, by the way, helps to inform why Shez had done so well. I think now with Engage, people are going to feel more confident in voting and probably pick more Engage characters. And it's not just like the new thing, but it's also the most relevant, the most topical. So I feel like the voting numbers as a total going down this year, it was kind of just a perfect storm. No new game to really influence more casual players. Started early, which was kind of abrupt and caught, again, more casual players off guard because repetition in previous years is off-putting now to have it shifted so quickly. There's just a lot to kind of downgrade votes a bit. I expect next year to have a lot more votes, to be honest with you. Mainly because we won't be dealing with this particular set of circumstances. And especially with Engage coming out, there's going to be a lot of Engage characters, okay? Like, look, I'm just going to be real. Engage has a lot of delightful and lovable characters, okay? So they're probably going to do a mean sweep next year. I would not be at all surprised if the winners next year were like Diamant, Ivy, Vigato, and Yunaka. Like, that would not at all surprise me one bit. So I guess look forward to that or don't. I don't really know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong too, but I usually have a pretty good track record on things like this. But overall, not a very surprising. They'll probably use the top 100 to 200 to kind of influence future banners that will likely start cycling in June or July for this year's Choose Your Legends. There's also the Rising Hero award thing that they may or may not do something with. I don't know. It could be literally something that they just threw out there to be like, hey, look at this, look at these lesser known characters, like here's a little bit for them, you know what I mean? And if that's it, then at least some vocal minorities feel acknowledged, which is always a good thing. But maybe they'll surprise us and do like an old Wayward Brave Redo type banner. I don't know. That would be cool too. But overall, nothing terribly shocking this year, which I guess is kind of nice. Outside of the Golvig of it all. But again, I'm curious to see where that goes. But yeah, that's my take. Those are my takes on Choose Your Legends. And I'm glad that it's done. I'm glad that it's done. Because even when I was taken out of the toxicity of it all, which this year I don't think was really that bad. I somehow still get threats and blame for influencing things, and so that's whatever, man. Anyway, that's my coverage of Choose Your Legends. Very cool. I'm glad that a lot of my picks placed really decently high outside of Nagi. I was going to say really high, but then there's also Nagi being the anchor of my Choose Your Legends voting gauntlet ship. And it just did, yeah. Anyway, excited to see what happens. Let me know how your picks did in the comments. But that's it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.